Vault Dwellers, to the next episode of Let's Build a Settlement here at Echo Lake Lumber. And you'll notice I am in workshop mode and we have clear skies. It is not all dark and brown and icky. I got around this by installing a mod that gives us clear weather all the time. So I no longer have to rely on Workshop Plus to give me the clear weather every time I log in, which is what was giving me all those yucky brown skies every time I was building here at Echo Lake, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So in the previous episode, we were working on this bad boy here, and we were about to jump right into it and continue just to finish off a little few things here and there. And then we're going to start tackling some other things. Maybe we'll go right into this guy here, the big one. Yeah, got a lot of work to do on that guy. And as I said in the beginning, I will be doing some facial repairs as well as some hodgepodge stuff, where I'm just going to throw random textured assets in there and hope for the best. So this way we're going to get a little bit of everything. I apologize ahead of time if I'm constantly clearing my throat. I had some spicy ramen for lunch, and holy potatoes was it spicy. The spicier the better, though, so it is all good. But unfortunately, you guys have to hear me clear my throat probably quite often, so like I said, I do apologize. Let's see. What we got? Ah, yes. I think I wanted one of these guys initially. Ooh, and look at that. Ties right into that thing right there. Nice. You know, I say this all the time, but it's almost as if I knew what I was doing, when clearly I do not. What? I'll take it. I don't know. How did I do that one? Okay, right. Let's take it out. Let's just do this. Dip it down. We'll scoot it, scoop. There we go. Because I don't want it to appear in there. Oh, fudge. Okay, I don't know what that was all about. I thought we crashed, but it just took me out of the thing. I've had that happen once before, at least, and the same thing. I thought I'd crashed, but I did not. So, I just needed to get dark. I wonder if that mod crashed. Let's do a quick save. Open our gates here. And it does look a little dark. I wonder if that mod's not even working, because it is starting to look overcast, so maybe we didn't fix it. But then again, that mod is pretty old, and I am on the stupid next-gen thing, so perhaps it is not working. So let's add some clear weather and go from there, and I might just have to turn that back on, and unfortunately deal with the brown skies. Yeah, you can see how nice it looks now. Well, shoot. That stinks. I had my hopes up. There are other mods that do the same exact thing, so we will look into those as time goes on. And I'll have to do some experimenting. Oof, again, I apologize for that. Alright. Now, we need some railings on this side as well. So, do I have anything in here? Actually, that's kind of nice looking. Let's put that there. How big is this guy compared to the other one? Whoa. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. We don't really need as much protection on this side as we do on the other, so just looking at the sky, so I guess we'll take that. Alright. So, let's get rid of some of that debris. I think I've gotten rid of that like 5 times. I wonder if it keeps coming back. It is possible. Nothing over there. Alright. So, we got that. Oh, wow, this is... I didn't even notice how crooked I was on that. Let's fix this bad guy, y'all. It looks a little bit better, a little more uniform. Alright, I kinda like that. Now we just gotta scooch it over. Looks a little evener. And I know we're crooked on all kinds of fronts here, but it is what it is. Do something like that. Shoot on up here. Alright, that's better. Yeah, I mean, I know it's... Ooh. Dark skies just kicked in. So yeah, we're gonna have to turn the old settings back on. So let's go ahead and exit and save, so that way we can continue. And unfortunately, we're gonna have the darker skies. But like I said, I will try in the future to make one of these work. So let's go ahead and Workshop Plus options, clear weather back on, perfecto. Okay, we'll do this, and this will at least make the storms go away. But we'll get the funky brown sky, unfortunately. Okay, so as I was saying, this is good enough. I mean, in real life, like if they were doing this kind of stuff, I wouldn't expect it to be 100% perfect anyway. So that works. Okay. Now, matching this texture, I've already discovered it's going to be a little bit difficult. I think I might be able to find some stuff that works with it. Oof, once again, I apologize. Let's see, I know I'd seen something somewhere. Maybe let's check some G2M stuff here. You never know. I mean, I'm definitely going to be adding like some funky stuff like this, attaching it to, you know, some spaces like in here and whatnot. Let's see. Yeah. And I'll be doing some, like I said, some hodgepodge work where I'll just be making some patches. Let's see. Definitely not there. Actually, do we have any? No, this is just the walkways. Doors, barn. Not very helpful, just roof sections. Warehouse. Skybridge, Covenant. Other. Look at that. Well, rando blocks. Alright, let's see. Furniture. Far Harbor. Fishy Farmy. Oh, that reminds me, actually, before we tackle that, we're gonna zip back on over to this, and I'm thinking I'm gonna take out this wall, and we're gonna put in and utilize some of these supports to make it look like these logs are just kind of like floating under there. So we're gonna bonk, take that guy out, that one. We're gonna take all of these out, and get rid of that one too. And then we're gonna throw in some random supports. Again, just to make it look like we're actually like holding this up. But let's get it just above that line. Do you want to do it in the center here, or do you want to do them off the side? Let's start here. Put something like that in there. Ooh. Just like that. Nice. So that way the logs can be underneath here and it doesn't hurt anything. This actually came to me the other day when I was laying there trying to fall asleep, and I was like, it just popped into my head. Where did you go? There you are. And I was like, hey, that's not a bad idea. We can make it work. So let's go ahead and put this guy here, like so. And yeah, it looks like it's just resting up against it. Perfect. We got another one here, right? Yeah. I can take both of these. Who cares? It's my settlement, and I'll cry if I want to. Alright, let's put this one right about here. We'll just center it on all of them. Why the heck not? And, of course, I'll back it up a little bit. Right about there. And I don't care if they are cooked one way or another. We're going to make it work. And I'm thinking... Give me that. Because of this one, the way these logs are, I might not be able to use this one because it looks like it's going to be interfering a little bit too much. So we might leave one out. That way it'll kind of look like it's broken. But, actually, no. That works perfectly. You gotta scooch this guy over just a smidgen. and bring them over. Yeah, one or two. Look at that. So much better. Alright, now we need like one or two on the side. I think I saw another one or two somewhere that I can salvage. Where'd they go? Or did I use all of them? No, I don't want to use that. I kind of like the ones that have the rope and stuff on them. Stick any over here? Mar. Oh, that might be all of them. I might have to make my own and use one of the ones that I stuck in the ground. Let's see. Alright. Not a big deal. No, we'll leave those. Yeah, this guy here. Give me that. Oh man, once again, I apologize. I'll stick this one down off to the side a little bit like that. Perfect. Just get it in there just like that. Yeah, much better. Alright, one more. So we'll salvage one from somewhere. I don't really want to muck up the flow we got going here. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, you stay sideways. What the fudge? Alright, well then we'll leave you. That can stay. Ooh, what was that? Kelp. Let's get rid of the kelp. Just eating up computing cycles. Alright, you know what? Can you take one of these guys? Nice. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. Alright, we'll do this before we jump into the other stuff. We'll stick this guy like right here. Let's see, is that over here a little bit? Nice. I'll take it. Cool. Now it all works. Alright. Back over here. And one of you had a fantastic idea about something to do with this. I'd asked like right in the beginning what I should do with this if I just try to salvage it or do something else. And one of you had said, I don't know, turning it into like a garden thing. I think Japanese style or something where we can have like all the plants going down on the different levels. In which case I can fill in some more dirt and stuff in here. We can get rid of probably all the benches and just have ourselves like this really cool garden that zips down like that. And I actually really like that idea, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I'll get rid of all the benches, and then we'll just come in and I will backfill this with dirt. I have my slanty dirt from Kraggles, y'all. Let's see, default mud. There we go. And then we'll find which ones work the best. Like, I mean, even that is pretty darn good. And then we'll just do the whole way across and throw all kinds of plant in there. All right. Piers shack. There's our Rufuses. I don't know if we have the same angles available there though. I'm thinking not. But I know I just recently came across some of the same wall textures, but I don't remember where I found them. So let's see. Maybe we'll start. I don't know where we're gonna start. Wood roofs. Not helpful. That is a pretty serious pitch too. G2M? No, it's just in G2M. CBC building, prefabs, wood, warehouse, more Pier shack stuff. Let's see what we have for Rufuses in here. All of them have too shallow of a pitch. So I'm thinking probably Hodgepodge might have what we're looking for. Right now I'm just trying to find everything that I need. Roofs, metal, greenhouse platform, yeah. So we'll have to, if we end up finding it. Oof, once again, we don't really have that pitch. Might be up to, snappy builds. Let's check. Let's start with, maybe in here, check these roofs. And let's see, how do we do it? Hey, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. But of course, I do have some other ideas on how to patch up our roofuses here with basically just a crap ton of literal patchwork. So we'll play around with that as well. Right now I'm just kind of experimenting here, seeing what works. And that's not too bad. That's actually the same perfect pitch. Okay. Yeah, we could even throw stuff like that in there. That guy. Of course, those are a bit too nice looking. The metal ones actually aren't too bad. Could potentially use that. Okay. So we have that as a possibility. And then we're going to shoot back on over here. Back into here. And... no, sorry, right here. Duh. No, duh. There we go. Because in here, we have half platforms, right? And boom, we got like stuff that is on a tilt. I don't know if we have that. No, we don't. So I would have to do some serious work here. So like one of the ideas would be to take something like this and boom, now you've got like essentially instant roof. So let's actually take these guys out. And of course we gotta pick them up, torque them so that they match. And then we would fill in some sides, etc., and make it work that way. So we take the same idea, do something like this. Next thing you know, look at that, you got a whole big bad roof. You can even throw some of these dudes in here. Yeah. See, I got this idea when I was doing my Jamaica plane build a while ago. Long while ago, before you guys actually, well before the one that you actually got to see. This was before all my mods and my game, etc. had crashed. Let me get down here so I can actually see this. And I had this mod working, surprisingly, and I started doing this, and then everything crashed, and I lost it. And so I wasn't able to continue on with doing this kind of thing. But it was such an awesome idea, and that's how I started coming up with all the other patchwork that I do. Look at that, we got some holes in that one, so maybe we'll do double patchwork on that guy. We'll play around with it. Let's see, what else we got? You know, oh, nope, not enough pitch. That works. Then we'll throw that guy in there. Sometimes got to work with just what you got. And then we could bring maybe a little extra. Let's put in something like so. So right now I'm not fully committed to this. I'm just messing around, trying to experiment with this a little bit and see what kind of what we can do with this. So now that we have that, let's experiment with some of these guys. Oh, look at that! It does snap perfectly. Okay, now what if we brought it back to... whoops, what are you doing? Grab that guy. See, that'll end up falling just a little short, I think. So let's take these out. Once again, we're still experimenting. I want to see how far... ooh, that actually might work. Okay. So let's take that out. And let's play with our other walls we got in here. I want a window. Look at that! Look how freaking cool that is, man. Alright. So we're going to take that one. We'll do something like this, and actually, you know what? Let's take this guy. Put that one over here. Now we'll put another window here. Like that. Sweet! And then we can take... let's see. Ooh. We'll use that elsewhere. Probably not up here. We don't want to just randomly throw a thingamaboober up here. And then, let's see, can we get this guy to turn? Really? You don't want to turn? Come on. Come on! Alright, well, we can worry about that later. But you get the general idea here now, and so this is all dead space up here anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. But, essentially, that is actually pretty darn cool. So I think I'm actually going to leave that. Yeah. I am going to leave that, and we're going to do the same over here. Then, yeah, when we build up the floor to fix that, we have access to windows. How cool. Alright, so let's let's see. How does that window... Well, that does work. Okay. Scooch over there. Yeah, we only get half a window. Okay. So we'll put that guy in there. And then... There we go. We got that guy there. Let's see. We do need to go over further, though. So, we'll just use a whole one. Nice. Now we'll use the partial. We'll use that guy. Excellent. Okay. But now, this one is less slanty. Has less pitch, so... What have we got in here for roofs? Do we have any... Oh, look at that. How's your pitch on that guy? Is this the same? No, it's a little shallower. But we can use stuff like that elsewhere, so that's cool. Let's see. I mean, that does work too. But not quite what I'm looking for. So, like I said, we're just experimenting here. Let's see, what do we got? Floors, roofuses. Ooh, look at that. Pitch on that bad mamma jamma. Haven't said that word in a little while. How does that look? Ooh. That's not bad at all. Alright, let's play around with this guy a little bit. Let's bring that one actually up there like so. Let's give him a friend like so. And let's see if we can pick these guys up and make them work for us. If we do something like this. How's that looking? How's that looking? Not bad. We gotta fix it a little bit. Come over this way a little bit. Let's actually come out of that one a little. Back over here. How we doing? Hey, that's not bad. We're getting there. We are getting there. Of course, we do have some gapping up here. But again, I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff. I'm going to take that one out. Because I do want to see if I can match that one. We should be able to hopefully match the pitch on the brick here. Something. We do have... Do we not have walls for that? I mean, how can you have a roof like that? Oh! Nice! Oh, baby, that's nice. Does that just flip? Oh, sweet! Fantastical. I'm having a grand old time with this. Alright, cool. You know what, let's do a quick save. Let's do a save. Yeah, we'll overwrite that. And then we're going to go back and see if we can find some roofuses on this same pitch here of that same stuff and do a little patchwork of the regular stuff there. So we're going to start with... What are we going to start with? Homemaker? Did I have that in Homemaker? We do. Let's see. Okay. Not quite what I had in mind. Let's see what happens if we dip this down a little. Ooh, ew, yeah, see, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. We'll leave it for the moment. I'll be trying and figure it out. Actually, let's take that one out. I mean, that's not the end of the world if we do something like that, to be honest. Alright, so let's put the one back in that we started with. There we go. That one's getting in there kind of weird. Alright, we're gonna have to finagle this bad boy. Bring it on over. Nice. Okay, we'll leave that. Oh, jeez. Hang on. I was gonna say we'll leave this one for now, and go from there. Sweet. All right, now this roof section we might do the same here. So let's get rid of that guy. Let's come back in here and let's turn off snapping so we can try to do this ourselves. Take about 10 hours doing so. Of course, this uses slightly larger, longer roof, whatever. Which is weird. We'll just do that. And cheat. Which I think this is actually, yeah, this is supposed to be over this way anyway. So let's go ahead and scooch that on over just a little to kind of make that match up. Let's turn off our highlighting. There we go. Now we can actually see this. Perfect. Just like that. We'll bring... Whoops. Whoops. Why is it doing that? There we go. Oh, there's a ghoul ambush here? Where'd that go? Right. Nope. Okay, never mind. Okay, that lines that up. And yeah, there we go. That's not too bad. Except, of course, I probably should have used the one that had that. So let's turn our snapping back on. Let's see if we can hack this bad boy. No. No. Alright, we're just gonna have to try this again. Turn our snapping back off. Get this ballparked. Like so. Now let's come in and... Whoops. Let's see, how does that look? Oh yeah, that's much better. Nice. It's not perfect. Looks like crap, which means it's perfect. Alright. Ooh, it's getting dark. Let's make it more daytime. Do that first and then we'll save. Alright, game alterations, world, time. 9 AM. Get all the way out. There we go. Now we'll do a save. Never trust the auto save or the quick save. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's turn our highlighting back on so I don't accidentally kill something I don't mean to kill. We'll get rid of that, because that really seems to serve no purpose whatsoever. Let's see. That's looking good. That's not bad. Okay. So, what do we got? How does that look? Yeah, once again, not the quite same pitch, but that's okay. So, I think we're going to take that one out. We're going to get this one over here. Let's just do that for the moment. So we can throw this in here. Okay, now let's try to get this lined up. Let's see, where's my spots here? Whoops. Something like that, I think. Let's see, how does that look? Ooh, we got a big gap. Scooch that on in. There we go. And then we got that, which we can fix, so that's not that big a deal. Now that we've done that, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get regular pieces here. And they're not snapping because my snapping's turned off. There we go. And there we go. Nice. Alright, so we got a lip there, that's fine. We got no lip here, that's fine as well. Okay. Now. Yeah, unfortunately I don't want to completely take this out. So it does look kind of funny that it's sticking out there. It's doing the same on both sides. So let's play around here. Wall sections. Why won't you turn for me? Let's see. How's your pitch? Do you match that? Sort of. But you don't have any other pieces to play along with that, unfortunately. Alright. Let's... You know what? Chicken butt. Oh. That's kind of what I was thinking. Let's turn our snap off real quick. And let's see. No, not quite my pitch. That could end up being quite a problem. Let's see. No. Let's see. Any pitched things here, or is that in the roof section? Probably in the roof sections, I'm guessing. We might find some extension. There we go. Let's see, does that work? Oh, so darn close. We might have to redo this whole section if we can't find something that quite meets that pitch. Alright, let's try hodgepodge. House set, walls, barn, whatever. No, we want sloped. How's our sloped? That's pretty darn close. That's probably like the closest one so far. That's still gonna kind of muck things up though. So let's play around with this. Maybe we can trick it into working for us. Let's put that one in there. Put that one there. Of course it's not gonna snap. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Now standard walls. For now, let's just throw some pieces in here and see how this ends up looking. Obviously, I want to bring it in, and if I can find this texture, which I know I have somewhere, we can work with that. Just out of curiosity, let me come in here. Wood, miscellaneous stairs, roofs, wood walls. Some interesting stuff in here. Maybe it's the other one, because I know I've seen it in like a weird plain Jane place. So let's check the USO version real fast. Wood, walls. Dynamic, not quite what I'm thinking of. Where in the world did I see those stupid things? Walls. Yeah, I'll have to go searching around to try and find that. I really don't want to lose this. Maybe we can take away part of this then. Because we do have some roof section there. Maybe we can just kind of cut it off. Let's see. Half walls. Throw this guy in here like so. Like it. And then if we can find some sort of smaller, angled piece there. Let's see, what do we got? No, not quite. You know what, Hodgepodge really does have some good stuff. Walls. Okay, barn, brick, concrete, warehouse. Actually, warehouse might be kind of neat. Sloped. Yes, you know, if I throw that in there, it kind of look funky from inside here. Let's come on in and take a look. Actually, that might not be as bad as I'm thinking. Did something like that. Yeah, I really like that wall. The roof, though, that's gonna look the worst. Yeah, we'll have to play around with this and see what works for us. Alright, how are you looking though? On the whole, not too bad. So I mean, if I'm gonna keep up with that, then we could just take let's see, regular plain Jane wall section here. Let me see if they have a something like that. Which, okay, if you're gonna do what are you doing? Oh, because of that way. Really? Okay. Well then, we have just there we go. Do something like that. Get rid of that. Do something like that. But then we lose the window. So we'll have to oof. Let me get in there. Let me get in there. I want to see how this looks. Picking up all the wrong pieces. Nope. There we go. Yeah, I mean, that closes it off. So even if we do lose this piece, I mean, we do get that. There's an idea. We'll have to continue to play around with it until we figure out exactly how we want to, how to do this. We'll have to, of course, you know, tuck this in to make that work a little better. Now, let me see. What if we take this off? How does that look? I mean, that's not terrible. We'd take the crates off, and then can work from that. That's not too bad. Alright, we'll play around with that. Yeah. Alright. Cool. Look at that. We got, I don't know, roofs covering pretty much all the holes. We just got to kind of figure out this section, and then we'll continue on downward. Got a little section right in there, and hole there, and whatnot. And can I take this apart? No, that's there as is, so we'll mesh into that one. Sweet. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad start at all. Alrighty, folks. That is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, don't get irradiated.